Hello friends and welcome to TBN Meets. Today in studio, I'm joined by not only the best African ambassadors to the world, but to a group whose sound depicts the diversity that is found in our worship. When I say worship, I mean our African worship. Soweto Gospel Choir was formed to celebrate the unique and inspirational power of African gospel music. The 43-strong choir draws on the best talent from the many churches in and around Soweto. The choir is dedicated to sharing the joy of our faith through music with audiences around the world. The caliber of people that they have performed in front of, it kind of reads like a fiction storybook. Among them are former Presidents Nelson Mandela and Bill Clinton, Minister David Cameron, Prince Harry, the Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Oprah Winfrey, Quincy Jones, and so many more. They've also shared the stage and have sung with mega artists such as Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, Johnny Clegg, and Ladysmith Black Mambazo. Now, after many awards that they have received, Soweto Gospel Choir are the recipients of not one, but 2 Grammy Awards. Imagine that. Those are the recipients of an Emmy Award, and they've also had the opportunity to perform at the Oscars. And so it is my honor to welcome them onto TBN Meets, represented by Milton and Portia, who are actually founding members of the Soweto Gospel Choir. Welcome, guys.
Well, thank you so much.
No one would actually ever doubt that you guys are not from the choir because of those T-shirts.
Absolutely.
So, guys, how was the group formed, and for how long has it been around?
Okay, the group was formed in 2002 by Andrew Kay from Australia, Beverly Breyer, the late David Malovetti,
Yes.
and the late David Vigo.
Wow.
They came here to watch Umoja, the show of Umoja, and then they were interested. They were like, why can't we do a gospel group in Soweto and see what we can come up with?
And then there you guys were. You guys were like one of the first people that came out of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it started off as an idea, actually. I mean, they never thought it could come to this far. You know, watching Umoja, they were actually inspired by Umoja, the dancing and the singing and the diversity of language and culture. So they thought, you know what, let's just try and make the gospel version of Umoja. That's how actually Soweto Gospel Choir came up. Yeah.
So what makes this group sort of like so different from other gospel choirs that are out there? Because I mean, gospel choirs, it's a well-known thing all around the world. But yet, when you guys travel all over the world, you pack out the biggest venues. You know what I mean? Like, and known in the world. You know, from the Opera House, you guys have done that as well in Sydney. Radio City Hall and the likes in New York, and many other stuff. So. Yeah, back to my question. So what makes Soweto Gospel Choir so different?
What makes Soweto Gospel Choir different? It's the fact that we, number one, are South African and Sowetan. And we are proudly South African mainly because we are singing in 6 of our languages in every show that we do. Wow. And we've got 11 official languages in South Africa. So whatever we share overseas, it doesn't matter they hear us or not, but whatever energy that we input to the audience, they receive it back as if actually they understand us. Wow. And we're in a cappella group. It's djembes and voices. That's how different we are.
But that's what makes us so unique.
Absolutely.
You know? We don't need instruments.
We don't need instruments.
We'll sing right now.
And of course, I mean, through our journey, we've been collaborating with quite a lot of international artists. And every single time we collaborate with a certain artist, we learn something from them. We take something from them, and then we put that in our shows, in our albums as well. So, especially the latest album that's called Faith, we have a song that's called Hallelujah, by Leon Cohen, the late Leon Cohen. You know how we actually arranged that song. Leon Cohen was still alive when we actually decided to say, you know what, let's just do this song. Yeah. And then we did it. It was beautiful. We included Zulu versions. We included vernacular in the very same song, and people love that song. Wow. So that's what's unique about Soweto Gospel Choir. We're so diverse.
So in other words, I mean, like, it's obviously about the different sounds, because I've heard reggae. Yes. You know, like I've heard like I mean, popular pop songs, you know, pop secular songs.
Absolutely.
And then you guys, you take them, you turn them around into something that's really sort of inspirational. And you really sort of mix all these sounds
Absolutely.
together.
Absolutely.
Who does that? Did you do it together as a collective, or is it you, Milton? Because I think when I think it's your fault.
Yeah, well,
you know.
Well, I try to make things, work, but working as a collective, it's a collective effort. Yes, I do vocal arrangements, just making sure that the vocals are on tune and whatnot. But others, it's a collective effort. If someone has an idea, then we just put it and then we work on it. So yeah.
And the wonderful thing is that, one can take any song that they want to do. For instance, like if you're an artist. Let's talk about your guys' performance at the launch of TBN in Africa. Okay, so what happened is I called Bev and I said, I would really like to involve, Soweto Gospel Choir onto this. I mean, two-time Grammy Award, winners. If we're launching a gospel station, or at least like a station that preaches the gospel, that we need to have the top gospel people in the continent, not just in the country. We did Signs of a Victory, which is seen as a secular song, but it's quite inspirational at the same time as well.
Absolutely.
You guys came in and you literally are able to do anything, whether it's rock, whether it's what like whatever it is. So what's the background of the singers who joined the choir? Like, where is everybody from?
Okay, do you want to answer that?
Yes, we are from different. Like me, I'm from Mpumalanga, but because of the choir, I had to move to Johannesburg. So, but everyone to join the choir has to go through audition, just like any other choir. They will choose the best out of those who came for the auditions. Like me, I had to come twice for auditions.
Wow.
So yes, you come to the choir through auditions.
Wow. And what's the criteria? What do you guys look for when someone is coming to audition? I can imagine, you guys are there doing those auditions.
Well, the criteria, definitely we need a certain voice that will suit a certain character, because we've got a song. I mean, almost everyone is leading a certain song, so we are looking for a certain character as well, and a certain voice. So like we need a voice that has a unique range and like a wider range as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Having traveled, well, first of all, where have you guys been in your as members of the choir in terms of touring?
Every time when they ask me this question, I just tell them I've been everywhere except Iraq, Pakistan.
But I mean, that's kind of everywhere else.
We've been everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, we've
I've
been
been everywhere. I remember when I wanted to actually go to Brazil. I really wanted to go to Brazil, and then God answered. God answers prayers.
Okay.
Last year we went to Chile, and we might be going back next year. So yeah. Otherwise, then I've been everywhere.
So traveling together as a group, right? What are some of the sort of internal challenges that you guys face, and how do you make sure that you kind of like overcome those? Because it must be quite hard being a big group and you together for like a period of 3 months, especially like a lot of adults, So how do you guys deal with that and make sure that you're still able, no matter what challenges you have with each other, that you're still able to get onto the stage and then deliver at the same time?
All right, I'll talk in terms of an individual and in terms of group. In terms of an individual, as a musical director, I'm small. Like, I mean, most of the guys that I'm leading are older. And in our culture, remember that you need to respect someone.
Okay, who's older?
So sometimes they would, when you're teaching a certain note or whatnot, the next thing they can't, reach that note. But sometimes you feel like you want to shout at them. But because of our culture, you lay back and whatnot, So that's the kind of a challenge that I always face as a musical director. As a group, as a collective, sometimes we tour about 3-4 months, you miss home. And yes, we miss home a lot. Other people get homesick, and sometimes it affects the show. But we actually always encourage them, So, and I mean, there's the social media, there's the technology is
is definitely much better.
Yeah, so we now we are able to actually communicate with our families and our loved ones. Yeah.
Sis Portia?
Yeah, and the challenges that we have, I can say sometimes
Solitude.
when maybe one of our choir members is normal, like the challenge that we had recently when we lost Gregory, and we were on tour in Scotland, and on that day we had to perform.
Wow.
So we were.
So did he pass away in Scotland?
No.
Was he in Scotland
He
or
was
he
at
was
home,
at home?
and we were on tour.
Yeah.
So while we were busy there preparing, they told us that Gregory is no more, and we had to go on stage. It was so, the show had to go on, but we were so strong. We were so strong because of the prayers that our mothers, our families back at home do for us. Even us, we had to be strong for the audience as well. We encourage each other a lot because most of the choir members are Christian. And sometimes when I see that I'm feeling down, I know who to go to and to talk to encourage each other. And as he said, that through social media, communicate with the people at home. They boost you, they tell you how to do things to feel better.
Yeah. I'm sure, you know, you guys are called, Soweto Gospel Choir. And at the same time, as much as, you know, what you're doing is you're inspiring people, you know, you're entertaining people, there must also be the spiritual aspect to it, you know.
Absolutely.
Like you said, you know, you guys pray and people at home are praying for you. When you're that busy, you know, I mean, like, unlike us at home, you know, we're no good to, there'll probably be like home style on Tuesday, you know, I'll probably do a tour and then I'll be at church on Sunday. But being on the road, it's like it must be like being on a cruise, you know. So how do you as a group keep spiritually motivated while you're on tour?
It's through prayer.
Yeah?
You know, as a collective, before we start rehearsing, we start by praying. So it's God that keeps us motivated. You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes we would actually go on tour, and then sometimes, like, it's a Sunday, you feel like going to church. We would try and go to a local church and just to lift our spirits up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Singing like many genres, you know, like with different artists and so on. How do you guys ensure that you still keep the gospel message in what you do?
Oh, okay, let me answer that one. Music has power to unite, music has power to build, and spiritually, you minister to your people. As I said earlier on, we sing in mostly a foreign language. When we're overseas, people don't understand us. But whatever we have input in us, when we sing to the audience, it's as if they actually understand us. So that's what keeps us motivated, because we minister to people. Yep.
You spoke about your worst moment, and you mentioned, you know, the passing of Gregory. And there was also Mavusani as well, who we actually toured together with when we went to Australia, when we had the opportunity, you know, as Bala brothers. And I can imagine just how close everybody is. Because really, I mean, like, when you see the choir, you guys are a family, and nothing can really get between any of you. No one even can. But what have been some of your highlights in the choir?
My highlight, I have many highlights, but this one takes a cup. When I was asked to give the First Lady, Grasa Machel, the bouquet in UK.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. And then this scripture came in my mind. Proverbs 18, verse 16, that your gift will make room for you.
Amen.
And usher you to the great man. So I was like, God, you knew that I love singing. You said, if I take care of your things, you will take care of me. So because of some of the people, to see those people, it's quite a challenge. But me, through music, I've managed to see those people, to perform for them. So my highlight was when Bev was telling me, Portia, when you get to UK, we'll give you flowers, and then you'll give it to Grasa Machel. And I was like, oh my God, thank you.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But Milton?
I've got a lot of great highlights. I don't know which one I should actually choose.
Just choose one.
Let me choose one. Okay, My favorite one is when we were in Australia. It was the first time, touring Australia in 2002. When we actually performed at Sydney Opera House.
Yes.
It was sold out.
Wow.
And the stage is rotating like this. So when we were singing, the stage was like rotating like this. It was my first time seeing audience like this and performing in that kind of a theater. So that's my greatest highlight.
No, man, I think for anybody that would be an absolute highlight. Let's talk about your current album, Faith. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys have had, I think, about 4 albums before, but you've won, 2 Grammys. And so now here comes this album, Faith. What is the heart behind, or the meaning behind the title of this album, Faith?
Do you want to answer that?
Yes. In everything you do as a Christian or anyone, you have to have faith. It has to start within you. That whatever that is coming after this, it will be God's grace and mercy. So faith, I don't know how it came out, the album named Faith, but I think, for my understanding, after everything we've been through as a choir, this is an album we say it's through our faith that we've made it.
Well, for the Bible does say that, the just shall live by faith.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's part of our identity, part of who we are. Without faith, we may as well not call ourselves justified, because it's only, through faith that we were saved. But Milton, so who are some of the people, and you mentioned some of this before, right?
Yeah.
But who are some of the people that you worked with on this album?
On this album, it's Soweto Gospel Choir. I don't think there's any other artist that we actually included in this album, right?
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't include anyone.
Oh, wow.
It's just Soweto Gospel Choir.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the sound of this album compared to previous ones?
The sound, it's a celebration sound.
Yeah.
Let me revert back to faith.
Yeah.
Remember in Hebrews 11 verse 1, the word of God says, faith is substance of things hoped for and evidence of things not seen. Sometimes it's difficult to believe in something that you don't see, like something that you don't hope for, something that you think it will succeed. But the fact that we have faith, the fact that we come from 2002 till this day, I mean, we've won 2 Grammy Awards. It shows that the faith that we have, it's still going to be stronger in the future.
Wow.
Yep.
Let's talk about touring plans. Okay, because you guys are always on the road.
Yeah.
First of all, where can audiences get the album and get an opportunity to see you guys live?
Okay, our albums are everywhere on the music store. And again, on the 2nd of December, we'll be doing a Christmas Carol special.
Wow.
So our audience can come and watch us there.
Wow. Where's that going to be?
We're not sure of the venue, but usually we're doing it at Monte Casino.
Okay. I think that should be absolutely amazing, because, I mean,
Absolutely.
as a real African, summer Christmas with Soweto Gospel Choir.
Absolutely.
But apart from music, there's also charity work that you guys do.
Yes.
But Milton?
Yes, we've got a charity called Nkosi's Heaven Vugani. It's a foundation that was formed so that for those who are infected and affected with HIV. So what we do, we collect funds. Every single show when you're overseas, after the show, we collect a donation so that we can support them.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Guys, if there was someone out there, right, some young person who's been following your guys' career, what sort of advice would you give them?
Oh, okay, I'll start by saying you have to go to school.
Yeah.
And collect as many as you can about music. You have to learn about music, what you love, and do it not because you want to be seen on TV or to go abroad, but it has to come within you, because sometimes when you're doing it for people, you might get tired. But if you're doing it for yourself, it will carry you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I will tell them is that go to school, don't just jump to music. go to school and get more info. Yeah.
And then come and wait for someone to leave so that you can join the choir. But I love that though.
Yeah.
But Milton, why not, Joe?
Obviously, teenagers especially, they go through peer pressure.
Yeah.
And they're advised negatively by those who are negative. But I'd rather, take something that's positive about that situation, and be positive in life. Another thing that I'd like to add is that there's a quote that says, time spent preparing beats time spent repairing.
Wow.
What I'm trying to say is that you can't be on stage, the next thing you're still rehearsing,
On
and you're
stage.
supposed to be performing. So don't spend time trying to fix stuff. You must fix your stuff early on time because
Yeah.
that will save you time. Then present something that's positive to your people.
And I guess that time kind of comes when you think there's nothing going on.
Absolutely.
But God is really just giving you that time so that you can prepare,
Yes, yes.
I've always said, and a friend of mine has always said that, like, you know what, if you're good, they'll find you. So make sure that, like, when they do eventually find you,
Yeah.
that you're absolutely ready. And I think you guys have been just such a great example of that.
Thank you.
I can't say that the choir has improved over the years because it's just as good as it was the very first time that I saw them. And I think I was watching TV and you guys came onto the stage. And that's because you prepared. You didn't prepare in the process. You were prepared before the process. So really just for myself, really proud of the work that you do and for being just such great ambassadors. Not only, once again, just for South Africa, but I think for Africa as a whole. And really just all the best as well with the album and on all the tours. Remember, I'm available if you want to feature someone on the next album. Let's call it Grace, okay? And the last
We'll
one we'll
remember
call
that.
Love. Okay, so it's Faith, Grace, Love. That is the Soweto Gospel Choir who've just come to join me right here in studio. Please go out and get the album. The album is called Faith. And as Sis Portia said, it is available at all digital and physical stores. So make sure that you get yourself a copy of this to experience this impressive performing unit. Now, that's all from us right now with Soweto Gospel Choir. So good night and God bless.